Hey guys, this is Titan and I welcome you to what seems to be a Cities Skylines 2 video. Though of course by the time you're watching this video, you most likely have already seen the previous video. But since that was more in the spirit of showcasing the German region pack, and this is the actual first of my very own Cities Skylines 2 videos. Even though, let's be honest, I would have done the other video anyway, but so here we are, and I figured since the German region pack has been, as of the time I'm making this video right here, is about to be published, the French region pack for Cities Skylines 2 has already been published, and I had so much fun creating the city for the trailer of the German region pack. I figured this is finally the time where I can dive into Cities 2 and just do what I like, you know, building realistic cities that might as well exist in reality but have their own little twists and turns to make them interesting and are just fun building, you know. And so today I would like to do just that, and by that I mean that today we are going to build the city that you have somewhat already seen in the previous video where I only showcased the region pack. Reason being, well, I mean, if I'm gonna make another city anyway, I might as well record it and see how it goes. And yeah, the more region packs that come out eventually, the more we can incorporate all of them into that save right here and have a proper modded Cities 2 city. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I would say let's just dive right into it. So the map we're gonna working with is Pike Perch Valley. Really great map. You see, I've looked at some maps and yeah, just wanted to figure out the scope of the project and what I want to do. I can show that in a bit. The city name I picked is Schwanach. Reason being, well, I needed a very generic German city name, and Schwanach has two components in its name. So Ach is an old German word and basically means a small river that is not navigable by ships, which, I mean, fits this city quite well, because you have the city, you have this river that traverses the whole map, but it's too small to have ships going on it, so there's that. And Schwan, well, I mean, it's the German word for swan, so you could just imagine that back in the days there used to be many swans swans living here in the region, and so this has to be the river with the swans, so it's Schwanach. Well, the small non-navigable river with the swans, so it's Schwanach. So there we go. This is the map I picked. It's rather flat. It has a small amount of farming area painted down already, just enough that in the background it seems like there is something going on. Otherwise there are some hills, and in the far distance even some shallow mountains in the background, which is a nice touch and is something more than the map being completely flat. But otherwise there is a lot of rather flat, very empty terrain that we can work with. Now the reason that I picked a rather flat map is basically that for the first project that I'm actually pulling off in Cities 2, I wanted to have a city that could be compared to, oh well, how can I say that without insulting other cities in Germany, but let's say a city that is more or less a generic German city, if you will, because we don't have as many custom assets yet, and so I think it's too difficult to build a city that really has character tied into the surroundings, you know, like a northern German city with a harbor needs a lot of brick architecture, which we don't have at the moment. a city that is nestled into some mountainous terrain in the, let's say, west or south of Germany might need a lot of half-timbered houses, which we don't have at the moment. And you see, I wanted to just build something that is more or less generic, a German city that could be placed anywhere on flat land, and there is also a lot of flat land in Germany, so just, you know, there's that. So here we are. This will be our canvas for, well, we'll see how far we get actually. This is our canvas for the next few videos, the next months, years again. Well, maybe not that, but we'll see. We'll see how far we're gonna get here. Now, before we actually dive into making the city, and before I want to stop talking and get into actually building something. But before we're gonna do that, I just want to get quickly into Google Maps with you and just look at the topic for today and the overall inspiration that I'll be using for this city right here. So let's just switch over there. So here we are now in a view of Google Maps, and we're currently looking at the German city of Mainz. Now, Mainz is the capital of the German federal state of Rhineland-Palatinate, and it lies directly on the banks of the mighty river Rhine, one of the largest rivers in all of Europe, of course. The city of Mainz itself has a long history. It used to be one of the most important cities in back then the German lands, the Holy Roman Empire. It used to have a very, very powerful bishop. Romans settled here, so it's a city with a long history. However, this long history that is situated somewhere here in the historic city center is not what's going to be the focus of today's video, or of the next video, or of the next few videos, or of no video even. Because for today we want to focus on things that really can use all the strength, all the upside of the German region pack, and that is for today around this part right here. So what we see here is the station, so the main station of Mainz, which is coincidentally also the station I chose to make for the German region pack, because, well, it is a large, like, it's sort of large central station, and it's on ground level, which is very useful. And I figured, why not use the surroundings of this station as the inspiration for the starting point of this city that we're gonna start making today. And this is right what we're gonna do. So we have the main station right here. There is a large road passing right above the tracks next to it. There are tram tracks, which, I mean, I'd love to incorporate a tram for once. So there's that. And then to the east of the main station, there's this district right here. You see, it has a more or less, well, no, it actually has a quite irregular grid, but it is a grid. And the reason being is, of course, that you had the old town core right here, and then at some point during the industrialization process, the city exploded. There was a new station, there were many people moving into the city, the population boomed, and so all this area right here was newly constructed with a lot of Gründerzeit is what is sort of an umbrella term for the style that was being used. Lots of, well, it's blurry over there, but that's not a problem. Architecture like this. The same kind of architecture we also have in the German region pack. So what I'd like to do for today is build a station, build an interesting area around it, maybe also with a large road passing right in front of the station, tram tracks. There's this large avenue right here, and I'd like to do just that and try to have a real starting point for the city, and then we just see how we can develop the city further and turn it into an actual city. For now, let's dive back into the game and see where we can actually start with. Alright then, here we are back in Cities 2 on this empty map we have here. And the great thing is that we can start right away, because we have the rail line going sort of perfectly next to what could be the city center. And this is what I really like, it has flat land towards the river, or well, more or less flat land. There's a small hill here that I'm sure we can use quite nicely. But on the far side of the river, it has this small hill right behind the train tracks, which I think we can incorporate really great with sort of the main road that crosses the tracks over there. We'll see how that goes, but for now, let's just start. We have this big station right here that I'll just, let's see, well, maybe we can do it like this. Let's just plop it in there maybe, or in there. Let's do it like this. And there we go. This is the station, and this will be sort of the starting point, the nucleus? Yeah, I think so, of this city. Now this is, I don't know why the game does that. I think maybe I or whatever fucked something up with the placement of the node there. It's really strange, but we can fix that easily because we have to rearrange the tracks around the station anyway. Now we can also, and we should do that in fact, extend the station with another platform and an entrance on the other side of the building. And for now, I will just reconnect the train tracks and, well, bulldoze the terrain around it. And let's just do that, and we'll talk in just a second. Alright then, so here we are. We have now the station properly connected to, let's say, the national rail network that is passing right through the center of the city now. There's also some branching going on over here, but I think we can sort of assume that the main line goes from over here to the far side of the map, passing through the station, and then connects somewhere over there. Wherever that leads, we'll figure that out eventually. So now we can concentrate on the road network that is connecting the station with the city and the surrounding areas. So what I personally found quite interesting is the sort of is the road layout around the central station of Mainz, where you have what in our case could be a main boulevard, a main road that comes towards the station, does a little, you know, a little curve, and then continues further on, or well, it could also lead over the bridge, on a bridge over the rail tracks. So let's see if we can just emulate that right here. And I'm not sure what road is the best to use here, but let's just start with the standard 4-lane road that I'm dragging over the whole length of the station, and then 40 meters to the right, and now let's say 68 meters up there, and again let me see if I can catch the center there. Yes, 40 and 68. I think this is a more decently sized square, and what I want to do now is to change the centerpiece right there for a pedestrian road, so that through traffic would pass by the station square, and well, other pedestrians, maybe buses or trams would pass right in front of the station for perfect access to, you know, the station. So the main road continues for a bit in both directions, and on this side right here, it would then, let's say it curves a little bit. And, well, then goes to somewhere, sort of forms the, yeah, let's say the northern edge of the city. I don't know what direction it would be actually, but that's not important now either way. And then, similar to Mainz, there is like another main street intersecting our boulevard right here. And I would actually like to have it as well as a sort of an odd angle. But this run is coming from up here and crosses the train tracks here, connects to that road and goes further on into maybe the city center, or maybe the city center is right over there. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out eventually. So this is what we're going to do now, and I will just continue with developing the overall city layout for this episode, at least for let's call it the station district. So without further ado, let's dive straight into that. To do something around the station square here, and that is that we have roads going directly toward the station building, or towards the center of the station building, so that we have 3 axes that go straight to the center of the building right there, from down here, from up here, and from down here, so that we have a more or less perfect grid. But it's interrupted by those 3 large, well, not necessarily large, but those 3 roads that lead directly to the station. And the thought I'm having there is just that when this whole area was developed, it was developed at the same time as the station. And because back then railways and rail traffic was the most modern thing you could imagine, and it was the center of this whole new district, so I think it just makes sense to have it, or have that included in the city layout. And the way I'm gonna do that is by finding the centerpiece of the station square, so where the surface there is, which is somewhere like here. Huh? This is, well, this is as good as it gets. And the very center would be, well, the clock probably. So the center of the entrance here, so it's there. Yeah. No, curve, please. So it's about there, click, and now from that point we can draw out this road to there. We can draw out the same road in a 45-degree angle, and another one in a 90-degree angle from that one, and then we can delete all those roads. Can I? Yes. Perfect. So now we have 3 roads that lead directly to the very center of the station. So that technically when you would be walking towards the station, the clock on top of the station building would always be in your view, even though you wouldn't be really able to see anything up there from the distance. But, you know, that's the general idea. And now we can actually progress further and develop the station district and the grid layout that I have in mind here properly. So here we are now. This is now the station district of this new town called Schwanach, and I have to say I'm quite satisfied with it. Of course, this is only the station district. It is not necessarily the real center of the city, but it's it is now, and it used to be the first thing people saw when they entered the city. So that is why there is a large square in front of the station. We'll plop some imposing buildings right next to it in just a few seconds. And otherwise, there's these two main arterial roads that that intersect right here and that go through the center of the city. So I suppose the real center of the city would be somewhere hereabouts then, so that the historic core might be right here, and on the other side of the city is where the station is located, still in a very walkable distance to the city center. And otherwise there's these two main roads that feed into the city and go right through the city, and this road right here turns into a sort of avenue thing, or I mean it's more than an avenue, it's just a very wide street. Well, duh. It's a wide street. Maybe there's a park in the middle, and the buildings around it are very imposing, large, important buildings. Maybe they used to be, or still are, theaters in the cabarets, the fanciest hotels of the city. Those were on this square, on this avenue right there, all of course next to the station, so that tourists or other people coming into the city can go straight to these main leisure places of the city. With all this being done now, I think we should just start plopping the first buildings. Well, this is interesting, but not really a building. God damn it. And I just want to place the first building of the German region pack. Now, as of the time I'm recording this, there are no find it icons yet for all the buildings of the German region pack. So this will probably take a while, because I need to find the buildings I want to be plopping down. So for this purpose, I will just go back into a time lapse and first of all plop the station square, and then we'll just meet again, talk a little bit of what what's going on there, and then off camera I'll just develop all the rest of this, and then we'll just hit play on the simulation and see what else the city needs for now. So here I am back in the control room and just quickly commenting on what I'm doing here, and I mean you already see it on the screen. I really just thought that I'd pick the at least for the very center of the station square, the largest and grandest and most impressive buildings that the pack offers, and I think these two corner buildings here, based on a building from Leipzig. In any case, with this impressive gable, really are a perfect focal point for the station square and form a real gate, if you will, into the city, and they just work wonderfully there. Now, all the other buildings that I placed around it are a bit more generic, and I really just had in mind to find suitable buildings to fill the square, but with less emphasis on them having to be extraordinary, grand, and impressive. So I think that also works rather well. And with all this just now being said, let's dive back into the live gameplay in just a second, where I can show you what we are going to do next right now. So we're back in the live gameplay now after this really short time lapse, but I cut most of the things out, because looking for the buildings and checking out what buildings fits where, it's not the most interesting, and it was quite tedious, to be honest. So this is what we have now. These are the buildings around the station square, and I actually like how well the French pack also just works together with the German pack. It's just like, the European styles blend together rather well depending on the region you are. So if you have, like, say something in to the west of Germany, the German pack and the French pack being together is very likely in that sense, so I'll be happy to using both of them to just get a little bit more of a variety out of it. Now we have like the station square, or like the development around the station square now. So if you, if you exit the station building, can I, well then let's take the photo mode, If you exit the station building, you'd see this square. Of course there need to be some trees there and basically anything else rather than this lawn that is there at the moment. But still, I think it forms a great entrance to the city. Now, before I dive into making all of this, and I'm actually not really looking forward to it, but before I develop all of these areas, I would like to quickly do something on this stretch right here. So I will just, wait, can I? I should be able to delete multiple trees at once, shouldn't I? Yes, can I do that? No, I'm actually not sure if I can. What if I crank the strength up? I still can't. If you know how to delete these, please tell me. I'd be very happy to know. Then, well, I'll just do that off camera and be back in a second. And I would really like to have, to have a variety of building styles there. So I'd like to use the German pack as well as the French pack, but also sprinkle one or few of the vanilla assets in there, because while I don't really like the look of any of the vanilla assets, to be honest, some of them work well in the sense that they were buildings built after the Second World War, say. So post-war buildings, quickly done without any large amount of decorations and stuff. And I think some of the medium density buildings actually fit that that style quite well, and I'll see what I can use there to develop this area. So for the first, or for now though, let's start with some signature buildings. So like this beautiful corner building right there. And the only thing I don't like about the French pack is that they moved all the buildings to the edge of the lot, which we didn't in the German team, so you have to move all of them in a bit further back by hand for them to blend together in the best possible way. But I mean, that's a small trade-off. Lot right here. I thought we could have like a sort of a square there that could be the main square of this whole district, and well, then of course also leading directly towards the station over there, or well, to the station over there, I should say. And let's see if there are some service buildings maybe we can put on that square. We will place it somewhere there. Give it all the extensions and all the upgrades. Let's see if we can actually raise the road there a little bit further and move it directly to the street. Now, thanks for all those trees. I really didn't need those, and I really have to check for a better way to delete individual trees, because using the bulldozer to delete them one by one, yeah, well, it's a bit annoying. But we have this beautiful department store by VYEN, but it's actually too big for this area. And while I think it would fit perfectly on the main road here, maybe we could actually place it right on the opposite side of the square. This could be great. Or I think I should actually do that. So let's get rid of this vanilla department store building and place an actual department store there, right at the heart of the station district, right off the heart of the commercial district, if you want even. Let's do that and reconnect the roads like this. Do we need to do it? Oh yeah, I think we should do it on both sides. Now that is an actual centerpiece for this whole area. We're developing it with where are they? With standard zonable buildings from the German pack. And I want all those level 4 versions. And let's see, we need 2 large corner buildings. Ooh, this is a good one. Yes. And on the other side, I want the one with the turret on top. No? Yes. Yeah, I think that works very well together. And well, whatever buildings fit in the middle, we can just place in the middle. Like this one surely fits, as well as this is a corner building. I don't need the corner buildings right now, thank you. Why not this? And now another mixed zoning, although technically they should be all mixed zones, so there's that. Corner building. Well, if they're shorter, then let's pick a level 5 there. Thank you. And a 2x2. Yeah, perfect. I think that works. The buildings also aren't too tall, so as I said, the city is supposed to be a bit more of a generic city and not like the largest and most pristine of all the German cities. So for that reason, I try to use as few level 5 buildings as I can to have the whole city sort of in a lower, lower level. It probably will be, I mean, this building already is huge and fits only in the largest of cities, but at the end of the day there's also a bit of freedom and a bit of imagination that we can make use of. I actually don't know if I want buildings right to the facade here, because I don't think it's necessary. Maybe what we can do instead is to pick 2x2 corner buildings. You know, this one and this one, and have them clip into each other like this, but move them so that they align with the police station there, with the police building. Somewhat like this. Copy those colors, paste them to this building. Yeah, I think that actually works quite well. And we can see that this is then some sort of main square. Or maybe I'll turn it in park as well. We'll see, but for now we have the bases lined out here. Well, I'm happy with this for a start, and I will do the rest of this all off camera, so see you in just a few seconds, because I'll just do a quick and dirty transition, right? So now that all this is done and I actually managed to develop this whole area, which took me a lot longer than I hoped for, but it looks really good. And you can see that there's like some vanilla buildings sprinkled in every now and then, and I think they really give the impression of post-war buildings that were dropped where either the pre-war buildings were too derelict, or maybe they got destroyed, maybe they weren't repaired after the war. Whatever the reason is, I think in this city we won't go too deep down into the lore behind it, because as it is right now, let's just enjoy building, and with whatever future project comes, we can do that. But so for me, I think the last step, and this video is so long already, so the last step that is really left is to detail and to plop all these remaining empty parts right here. So like this plot, the avenue right here, this square, of course the station square itself. I might even do, or well, I should actually develop the stretches here along tracks, and same as here. Maybe some buildings here behind the station, at least in where they are necessary for the, well, for the view of the station, and everything else we will just cover in the next episode. So let's just start with the station square, and then we can see where else, yeah, we're gonna do something. But then again, I'll do that in a time lapse. Still, I'm gonna do the station square first, and maybe let's start with, no, can I do this without destroying the buildings? No, so let's just keep anarchy. Let's start with paths that continue where the roads end on the station square, so that the paths really extend these roads into the station square. And I really have to pay attention here that they're properly lined up, but I think that should work. Then let's do the same here. Up. Should we connect the node there? No, let's not, because it looks, well, not good. It doesn't look good at all. And then here as well. Well, station square done. That's the video. Thanks for watching. No, of course not. Of course not. No. Let's see. No. Let's see what surfaces we can use. Also, so far I'm not using any like other visual mods other than the region packs, or like any other assets in the region pack. So I don't have a lot of these other surfaces that are there. But truth be told, I'm a bit too cautious when it comes to other custom assets that have already been imported using the what's it called, asset packer mod, I think, for fear that it might break in the future once the actual asset editor is out. So in hoping that it doesn't take too long now that for the asset editor to actually be released, I will just live without those assets for the time being and hope that it won't be too long. And yeah, so we'll just have to make use with the vanilla assets for now and the region pack assets, but with all the region packs being or getting released now one after the other, I think that should be possible. And when it comes to stuff like surfaces and stuff, well, I think we can live with that. And you know, those other things that are kind of missing, you know, like decals and graffitis and stuff, I have seen so many great things there. Well, I'll just have to live without them. I'm sure that's possible, and we'll have the whole city a bit low-key detail for the time being. And once everything is out, once asset modding is fully in place, which again, I hope and I'm sure it can't take too long now, then we can go full force and detail everything. So in any case, what I'm doing here with the station square is that at the edges of the station square, I'm just putting these green spaces that we can then place some trees on. And in the middle of the station square, I will just place some kiosks, some benches, and just see what other things we can place that it fit. Let's maybe use that birch tree. I think that's fitting quite well. I mean, this is a good size. It's a good size. Let's see if we can use the line tool. Yes, fixed length. Thank you. Yeah, I think. Oh well, I guess I can actually place them by hand. So with these few trees, that's not really an issue. And one tree there and there again. It's not much, but it already helps that the whole station square looks more interesting overall. And then I will just try to see that we can... What's with these fountains? Do they fit? More or less, really. So let's place some kiosks there. Little food cart. What else do we have? Some tables and stuff would be nice. Yeah, here, how about those? This is great. Yes, yes. And here as well. Little food cart also has some tables. Bit of a mix together there. What else can we place here? That's industrial. That's not really fitting. What else can we place that is fitting? Maybe of these assets that are available in vanilla, not too many, but some planters are of course always a really good addition. So let's place some planters as well, like this. Yep. And why not a few more? I mean, the square really looks quite empty at the moment. Let's see if we can change that. I will just place some trees in the planters. The annoying thing is that I think these trees will actually grow, so I think that will destroy everything a bit, but we'll see how it works and maybe get back to it. Then I noticed I should also grow the trees that are embedded into the station, which will make the whole station look a bit better as well. And quite honestly, I think keeping everything a bit lightly detailed, this is actually quite nice. And definitely does the job of being an entrance to the whole city and yeah, just being a proper station square, lightly detailed within the means that are available in the vanilla game as of now, which will surely change soon. So you know, then we can. But yeah, as I said, for the time being, I think this is sufficient, and it's just yeah enough that these German buildings are in the background and really form the backdrop of what already looks like the center of a German city. So without further ado, let's just dive into everything else and detail the remaining parts of the station district. And so we're doing right now. I'm back here again, speaking from the control room. Hello, here I am. And first of all, doing the center here. Now I thought let's just build or plop down some pedestrian paths. Some actual paths, that is, in the hope that the citizens will actually use them. Actually, even now, I'm not quite sure if they do, but I'm just hoping so. In any case, giving the yeah, rather small selection of surfaces that we have in the vanilla game, these just add another touch of pavement style that's yeah, just very welcome. And then in the small, well, no, a large fountain actually in the center of the square to really give it a focal point and emphasize that this is some large market square where maybe, probably, there were also markets going on frequently. Maybe every week there's like a market with local produce and artisans there. Hopefully not too overrun with tourists, but I yeah, digress, I guess. And for the rest of this boulevard, I thought let's really make it into a small park where you would stroll beneath the trees on a hot summer day instead of walking next to the street, which, I mean, I don't have to tell it to anybody of you that it's quite annoying to walk on the street. And so there you can just walk beneath the trees in the shade and yeah, enjoy the city center on a warm summer's day, so to say. And yeah, as you say, now the different pavement of the pedestrian paths really kicked in and works well with the other surfaces we plopped down. Now just some minor detailing with some plant pots, some benches here and there, really just to use the things that the vanilla game offers to our advantage and yeah, just do some detailing that the whole area looks alive and actually used without having to use all the experimental decals and stuff that are available on Paradox Mod so far. Now I'm just continuing this whole pattern further down the boulevard right here, where we just fill in some areas with some surfaces, as well as, and we're there in right a second, there we are, just planting some trees as well to give some, yeah, very nice, very easily done macro detailing. The same here on these 3 focal points, these 3 roads that go directly to the center of the station. I'm just putting down some trees to emphasize the importance of these roads, and as opposed to what I have been doing in Cities Skylines 1. Here, at least for now, I won't go into heavy backyard detailing, but just spam all the backyards with trees. Now here next to the station, I thought we might just continue the trend of having buildings there. These buildings are actually placed right all the way to the train tracks, so all their windowless, usually in most cases of these buildings, their windowless backsides really face the tracks, and just to hide that, we can put some trees down there as well. But I like the thought of these houses being windowless towards the tracks, because of course all the trains cause quite a lot of noise. Then on the other side of the station here, and on the other side of the large intersection, I actually thought we could use this large block right here to not plop any more buildings, because despite all this what we're doing here taking so long already, I wanted to do something more interesting here instead of just yet another block of buildings. And so what I'm doing is actually experimenting a bit and placing a construction site. And this is really one thing I very much like about Cities Skylines 2, that right from the go we have so many more props for various purposes. So even the vanilla game, despite some voices claiming the opposite, even the vanilla game offers quite a good amount of detailing possibilities, and many more so than Cities 1 had in the beginning. So I'm very glad to use those. Now you see as the ground texture for this construction site, I used a bare sand texture in the beginning, which I really don't like. The uniform look of this ground looks really odd. Not a big fan, but we'll change it in a second. And I'm using these ruin columns there as sort of the, I suppose, work in progress pillars of the building that's to be standing there, which works quite well actually. And together with all these other props, it really gives the illusion of a construction site in progress. And in that case, I'm really happy with the possibilities we have already in Cities Skylines 2. But you see, now I'm just switching the sand texture we had so far for the ore texture from the ore resource district that you can paint. And it looks much better. I'm really not a fan of these cliffs there, but I honestly couldn't come up with a better solution so far. If you have one, feel free to write in the comments. And similar to the ore texture, we use the oil texture. It was the oil texture. Now we're using the ore texture here in the same way to increase the size of the gravel around the tracks. And it actually works so well. It looks better than the actual gravel texture around the tracks, which is really great. But also, these two textures somehow work together quite well. And this just is the small amount of detail I needed here to have this whole track field in front of the station look much more coherent. Now, with all that being said, I will give the word to me 2 days ago. Alright guys, I think this went rather well. Now, let's say everything is sort of macro detailed, so from up here everything looks really realistic is a difficult word, but everything looks detailed, it looks lived in, it looks active, and it just looks like an actual city. Of course, up close it's, at the very least it's empty, but I think for now that's okay. Let's focus on the macro detailing for the beginning of this whole ordeal, and as soon as more modding features are possible, then we can branch out further and detail the smaller details as I'm used to. sort of. I'm really satisfied with how all this turned out. I was happy that I found that you can use the ore texture to have sort of the gravel around the tracks. Not the same texture, but it's close enough, and same as on the construction site here, it just looks much better than sand I used before. I'm still not 100% satisfied with like the cliff texture here. Let's say for now it's working, and maybe I'll come up with a better solution. Or if you indeed know of a better solution, then I'll be happy to use it and incorporate it. For today, I'm very happy with the results for today and this very first episode of any Cities Skylines 2 series. I'm very happy that we even got to this point, and yeah, I'm very happy looking forward into the future of this, but also of Cities Skylines 2 in general. Having great hopes. At least this was surprisingly fun. And yeah, now with all the region packs slowly being released, I'm really looking forward to everything we can do with it. Now guys, I really thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in this new old game, and thanks for watching. Of course, feel free to hop onto my Discord server if you know the game a bit better and can hint me what assets and props to use for a certain effect, or if you want to just chat and hang out with like-minded people, then hop onto my Discord server if you really want to support me further. A link to my Patreon is down in the description, and a huge thanks to the people who already support me on Patreon. You are the best. I love you for that. I'll see that I can shot some nice and interesting cinematics here, and maybe press the pause button so the game actually runs and people start moving in. We'll see how that works. Maybe I'll need to... I actually need to start doing a background city first. So maybe I'll do that, let the game running, then I'll do some cinematics, and then you'll be able to see them. So enjoy those, I guess, and see you in the next video. Until then, have a great time, stay tuned, stay healthy. I'll see you then, and bye!